Hello, welcome to my website. I am Lawana Kelly. I am an author. I am a life coach. I am a motivational speaker that's motivating and helping women all around the world heal from their pain and change their pain into purpose. Please explore my website and check out my book, Damaged Crown Still Shine, and my workbook, Fix Your Crown. Please join my emailing list as well. And always know that a damaged crown still shines, and there's always room to fix your crown. Welcome in, everyone. I am Lawana Kelly, and my lovely co-host is Latanya. Pronounce your last name, I'm sorry.
Ogwe.
And today we're going to talk about the red flags when dating in any type of relationship, because this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We are not professionals, but we are talking about our experiences. We all have experienced something, some type of way. So we're going to be speaking about domestic violence, red flags, and hopefully we can get some tips on how to get out the situation. So would you like to go ahead, Tanji?
Yes. Again, guys, I am Latanya Ogwe, aka Tangi Yvette on TikTok. Yeah, we thought it was very important that we actually share the red flags of dating to everyone, because we've all experienced it. But then there's times that we've actually ignored those red flags. And so we're just going to get into the reasons why we ignored the red flags possibly, and then how we both actually experienced domestic violence.
Yes. So please chime in. Please comment, share this post, and even share some of your red flags. Because what we need to do is help the young ladies that's coming up, this generation, to understand, to pay attention to red flags, how to get out of situations, and what situations not to get in. With myself, I was at the age of, I'm going to say 16. I was in a domestic violence situation where I did not know no better. And how I got there is watching abuse in the home. When I was a kid, I watched domestic violence in the home with my mother. And right after the domestic violence, my mother was right back cooking for them, and they having a good old time. And I used to go to school with it. I used to go wake up with it. I used to go to bed with it. Just abuse. So I thought abuse was love. So I got myself in that situation. Some of the red flags, how I got in the situation was the guy was aggressive. He was controlling. He was very jealous. I remember when he used to put his hands on me when a car, somebody can blow outside, blowing for another car, and then he'd think the people was blowing at me, and he'd put his hands on me. So in so many situations and so many red flags, far as the jealousy ain't cute, the controlling is not cute, the aggressiveness is not cute. We think a lot of things is cute when a man is controlling us and want to grab us a certain type of way, because it's going to lead to something. And one thing I don't like to hear, oh, he was going through something. He was having a bad day at work. He was this, he was that. No. We got to pay attention what's going on, because our children are growing up looking at this. And a lot of people don't pay attention to what our kids is looking at. But they watching us with the verbal abuse, the mental, the physical. I mean, and I experienced it all. When I tell you, verbal name calling, physical hitting. I mean, the guy had a 13 shoe and stepped on my neck and told me he will kill me. And I lost a cousin like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to really get into the red flags. Would you like to, Tangie?
Yes, and you know what? As you were speaking, it also came to me as well. I've known of men that actually experienced domestic violence also.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did some content on TikTok in regards to the gentleman that was at home and he was trying to leave, and his wife unlived him. I'm sorry, not on TikTok, but his wife actually killed him. She literally took a gun and put it to his head right there in his own home while he was on the telephone with one of his family members, and they're telling him just to leave. And he said, I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. And her mother was right there in the kitchen, and the kids were upstairs. So it's men as well as women that both can actually experience domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
I have experienced domestic violence. And I tell you, in the beginning it's lovely, the relationship, the communication is there, the attraction is there, everything is lovely, and that's how it starts out. But then there starts to be these little things that
Mm-hmm.
you begin to actually notice about the individual. And sometimes we be like, oh, that's just a glitch. You know how like sometimes our computer has little glitches and stuff, and we just like, oh, it's just a glitch, and we just keep on pressing and pressing and pressing or whatever in hopes that it'll resolve itself. But in this particular situation, it wasn't until they removed me from around my family.
Mm-hmm.
And once they got me away from my family,
That's isolation, people. That's isolation.
once, and once they got me away from my family, all the true colors started to come out. And like she said, it's not just physical, but it's emotional. Being talked about your weight, talked about, you'll look better like if you do this or if you do that. I actually was telling Luana about the situation one particular time that I wanted to work. And I remember my daughter she was about maybe 3 or what have you. And I had got a job and I was working at Burger King. Um, and the individual actually came to my job. It was snowing there in Virginia, and he came to my job and he sat there with the car running.
Mm.
And it was my shift was nowhere near over, and he was like he needed me at home. And I'm like, what's wrong with my daughter? And he was like, nothing, she's fine. I just need you at home. And I was so concerned about the car running and my daughter being out there in the car and it's snowing and this, that, and the other. So I just left. I quit my job, just left and got in the car. Never returned back to the job. Once I got home, you know what it was that he wanted?
Mm. What's that?
Sex.
Mm.
He needed me at home for sex. And so that's a form of abuse, you know?
It is controlling. Yeah.
hmm Because like we were discussing, did I want it at that particular time? No, but we have this mindset that, we have to please our spouse, um, significant others in certain cases and whatnot. We have to please them because if you don't, somebody else will. Well, all along, somebody else was doing it anyway.
Mm.
It was just, they couldn't actually get to it.
So
Then it
he
led
was
to,
kind of like manipulating you and making it think like it was you and it really was him. To they need
correct.
you at home, but they won't be able to see you out there in the streets. You know, you won't see what
hmm
they doing out there in the streets. And I have to seen that in so many situations. And women would stay at home and not learn how to do something and the men just run wild. It was a situation. I know somebody that was married to somebody, didn't even know the man had a whole nother life.
It's so funny that you said that because, again, we were military.
Mm,
And so it wasn't until he was away and that me and my daughter had gotten into a car accident
oh my God.
that, they came to actually help us. That the military, the other wives and whatnot, because, they have like these little groups and whatnot,
Mm,
that they knew that he was actually married because they actually told me, they was like, I never knew he was married. I never knew. I did not go to the supermarket by myself. One, because I didn't have driver's license at that time.
mm,
And that was a way of keeping me in the house. I didn't go to the laundromat by myself. I only went with him. So I was pretty much there, I had the title of the wife, but there was somebody else performing the duties outside of the home
Mm-hmm.
as the particular wife. But then that progressed on to the physical abuse. And then, you know, you're gonna fight back. You're gonna fight back. And then that progressed into more and more and more. And you know what's so difficult is when you do fight back, it's like you could be a different shade, a lighter shade than the person. And they see the scratches and they see the bruises on that person and they say, well, you were the one that did it because you don't have any bruises. I have bruises, they're not visible. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're just of the lighter tone. They're
Mm-hmm.
of the lighter tone. And then around his family members and whatnot, they projected it to be just me, that it wasn't actually him or what have you. But um head being rammed into walls, dressers, all that type of stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I do remember one time I built enough strength. And of course, I was around my parents.
Mm-hmm.
At that particular time, I was around my parents and I was like, I'm going to get him now because my mom was around. And I was like, if my mom is around, oh, it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remembered. And when he started up with me, I remember hemming him up in that corner. And I went to work. I went to work because I had so much anger and stuff built up. But then I'm thinking back at that and I was like, was that wise? No, because it only takes one hit in the wrong place that you can actually take someone's life.
You sure can. You sure can.
And so you have to be cautious. Just remove yourself from that particular situation. There's resources out there that can actually help you. I was in a shelter one time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to remove myself from that particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
I had law enforcement talk to me one time. I even had a sergeant. He actually knew what was actually going on and tried to actually help me remove myself from the situation. But because of the embarrassment and because a lot of people, some of them may be watching even right now. So a lot of people actually said, he married her, her, mm, that
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. So I wanted to try and keep it just to prove a point to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to stay
And
in it just to
it don't
kind of
even,
prove a point,
it
but
wasn't
it
even
wasn't.
so let me
It
ask you this
definitely
question.
wasn't.
First, the isolation. Because we're gonna break down the physical, the verbal, we're gonna break down isolation, we're gonna break down controlling behavior, jealousy, criticism. So isolation. Isolation is when you, like you said, you was moved away from your family. Men want to cut off your friends. Men don't want you to go nowhere. They don't want you to be by themselves. They got to keep tabs on you. It ain't cute because he love you. He keeping tabs on you because he's showing you some controlling ways. And so you got to watch that because if they feel like you don't want to listen to them, then that's when the physical will come in. No, the verbal, and then the physical will come in. All this
Mm-hmm.
stuff works together. You have to watch them when they, you just got to watch their behavior because a lot of men or a lot of women have a lot of unhealed trauma. And that unhealed trauma is from what they saw in their past. Like with my husband, I brung that behavior in the beginning in the marriage, and some of the behavior was verbal, some of it, I never physical, because he always said that if you don't want to be hit, don't hit. So it wasn't that, but I believe it was the verbal, is because it was learned behavior in past relationships and seeing it in your home. So I thought this was normal, and my husband had to break it down to me. And thank you for listening from Uganda. So we got someone listening from Uganda. And
Ah,
so
welcome.
I think that, yeah, I think that's Uganda. So I brought it into the marriage, and my husband said to me, I want to take you to go, and I want you, the way you're talking to me right now, I want you to say that to your pastor.
Mm.
He said, talk like that to your pastor. I wanted you to go in front of the judge and talk to a judge like that. I said, no, I ain't doing that. He said, well, why would you do that to your husband? Why would you talk to I don't talk to you like that. So why would you talk to your husband? So I had to learn immediately. In situations, you do got to change some of your behavior. You can't be gangster and everything, ladies. We can't be gangster because what we used to doing, we can't do that in every situation, in every relationship. But the isolation is real. I have seen it. I'm not isolated. It's just that I choose to cut folks off. I chose to, submit to my marriage, and that's it. I chose to do that. It wasn't nothing my
Mhm.
husband said. So we didn't get so close. Everywhere we go together. It's something that we do. We don't really go nowhere alone. And so you got to be, when a man wants to remove everybody from around you, that's an issue. And just be careful, because that is a red flag. And Tej, I got a question. Abusive men. I don't know how many of you ever known, or
Mhm.
anybody. Please comment. Anybody seeing abusive men that beat on women? Fight a man.
Fight a man.
Yeah,
Mm.
I haven't.
I'm thinking. You see, I'm over here thinking. Like I'm thinking real
Because they're
hard.
cowards. A man that hit on a woman is a
Mhm.
coward.
Yes.
It's just
You
that,
know, I don't. I don't even see it. I don't even see it.
mm, yeah, but
I
I never seen. If anybody's seen that, please comment. Have you seen an
hmm
abusive man or a verbal abusive man stand up to another man?
Clovis asking what the topic is sis.
The topic is the red flags of dating. For some reason my computer is frozen, so I can't see no messages right now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So please let me know if you see any messages.
Yes.
I don't
So,
see any.
Chloe, it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we are talking about the red flags of dating. Dating comes when you first actually meet that person, and there are a lot of times as women, we say women's intuition, and how we as women sometimes we'll bypass that and we'll just settle, you know. And then once we begin to settle, we find ourselves stagnant in that particular situation. And
Mhm.
then it progresses and progresses and progresses. And then there's some of us that actually aren't able to remove ourselves, or we are able to, but we don't. And we
Mhm.
just stay in that particular situation. Some of those people actually didn't make it out, but I'm grateful to God that I did.
I
I'm
thank
grateful. I'm
God
grateful
I
my
did.
sis did too.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And there's so many women. And then men, any men that's listening, we
Mm-hmm.
only could talk about domestic violence from a woman's point of view. We're not leaving y'all men out, because some men go through domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to say anything, please comment in the
Yes.
comment section, and we will read. As soon as my computer unfreeze, I'll be able to put the questions on the screen. But right now, I'm froze, but my computer is froze, but I'm still able to be live. Thank you. But it goes both ways. Like my husband said that he was in a situation with a controlling woman, and she used to lock him in the house and they didn't want him to leave. She put a lock on the door, went to work one day, and he had to call a friend of his, and he had to jump out the window to get out and get his stuff and leave. She literally deadbolted him in the house. He had to get out a window. She didn't
Now,
want him to go nowhere, see nobody. And he literally tell me this. He was like, women is controlling. I even seen her control. She actually hit him in front of me. Once he told her, I'm married now. And she said, when you get married and pop them up. So I'm a wife. I'm sitting there looking like, Did she just put her hands on my husband? Wait, hey, it's his baby mama. Okay. Did she put her hands on my husband? Woosah. So, but it come both ways. It come both ways. Have you ever dealt with jealousy?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody dealt with jealousy? Could y'all
Oh
put red
goodness.
flags in the comment for women that's coming up that don't understand what a red flag is? That we are
Mm.
teaching women what red flags is behavior that you never experienced. I mean, I see so many women isolate themselves because they love a man. Have a baby
Mm-hmm.
by him, keep them. They go through the abuse. I had one guy that was very controlling and jealous. No, I'm gonna say controlling. He was almost a narcissist. He was a narcissist. And he was, look at me when I'm talking to you. What did I tell you to do? Like he talking to a kid. And I didn't understand because I was liking a brother. I thought it was sexy. I thought it was cool when a man know how to control and handle a woman. No, well, know how to handle a woman. I shouldn't say control. Handle a woman. But sometimes men take it a little too far,
Mm.
too aggressive with it.
Yes. Hey, sis,
Yeah.
Clove said, I was in several toxic relationships. It felt like a chain reaction back to back. I had
Mm,
to take a few years from being in a relationship until I got home. Well, I got some healing and knowledge under my belt, which is
mm,
facts, which is definitely facts. Where it's
mm.
definitely facts.
Right.
Um, you know, I like a man that, is dominant, but at the same time, I like one that's very respectful. Don't do anything to me behind closed doors that you can't do in public.
Well,
You
well,
know,
well. The dominant. Let me see. I would
like
say,
the man of the house type of thing. Like,
well, well. I wouldn't say my husband is dominant. My husband is just a man. A man. Like
hmm
you would a man, and know how to handle it. And some women had to want to be handled, and me, I wanted to be handled by my husband because he handled me with care and respect. And
mm,
stuff like that. And he know how to put the sexy and aggressiveness on and all that. But it be in a sexy way. It's never to hurt me and harm me in any type of way. He never
mm,
criticized me. He never cursed at me or called me out my name, never disrespected me. I say I was the feisty one. I
hmm
was the feisty one. And I'm the one that, sometimes come out with a little gangster but had to straighten up and act right.
hmm
It don't never be him. But that's how a narcissist is. A narcissist is they'll blame you for everything. They'll blame
everything. They're so wrong in anything that they do.
everything that go
Hmm
wrong as far as if it was at the job, what's going on in his family, with his kid's mother. A lot of people, everybody deal with things differently. But we just
hmm
gotta make sure a man is respecting us, loving on us. Men, make sure a woman is respecting you, loving on you, and being your peace and not your problem.
Right.
Some women have
Right.
to learn to be a man's peace and not their problem. But that's a whole nother segment. We're talking about red flags. So
hmm
verbal and emotional abuse to make you sad, make you depressed, calling you out your name, tearing you down, disrespecting you, um, making you jealous, looking at other women, talking to other women in your face and dare you to say anything. Um, this is the verbal and emotional abuse. You could say anything like first the emotional and the verbal, like the disrespect, like and I don't want to leave no red flags out. I'm trying to keep going. And if y'all, like I said, know any red flags, please comment in the comments. And Tangi, the only one can see comments right now, so she'll read them for us. But it's
um with I wanted to say with red flags, if we're like talking about red flags while dating,
Mm-hmm.
um, if what I've actually seen, because I am back on that dating scene right now, and what I've seen is men sometimes avoid certain questions. Ladies, if you are talking to a guy and this particular guy cannot talk to you unless he's on his way to work or on his way from work or he's on his way to Wendy's, Taco Bell, or somewhere like that, and then that's when he wants to pick up the telephone and call you, that's a red flag. There is somebody at that house.
Because
He
you were
can
just in a
never,
situation like that, right?
huh?
You was in a situation like that, right?
Just
Yeah.
recently, yes.
I do
Um,
tell us.
oh my
Do
goodness.
tell.
So there's this individual. He and I was actually talking. We did actually meet on social media on TikTok. And everything that I like in a man.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives close by. He's actually in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's not that far away, like 2.5 hours or so. And we've never met. It's been over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And typically guys be in a rush to meet someone that they like really are interested in and this, that, and the other. But no, not this particular guy. And so it's like whenever he called me, he's on his way to work or he's in the office, or he's actually on his way home from work. And during that particular time, there's like always interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a beep coming in. Oh, that's my grandkids. Oh, that's my mama. Oh, that's my grandmother. And I'm like, what? Why all the time? You know what I'm saying? So he would tell me that he's in the process of getting a divorce and that he doesn't want to cause any problems to actually cause her to actually get or gain anything more
Mm-hmm.
out of the divorce or what have you. So that's why he's like trying to take things slow with me and he don't want to bring me into that particular situation. And in my mind, I was like, well, that's respectful. I respect that. And I still respect the fact that he's married, you know? So I was like, okay, I understand him not wanting to come see. Now that's how I'm thinking. And in my mind too, I'm like, I don't want him to come see me and he's still married too, because she could be following him, this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, okay. But after a year, after a year, nothing has changed. And
Mm-hmm.
so I backed away. I backed away. I removed myself from that particular situation, because, well, I pumped my brakes, I'm going to say, because he still communicates with me, but just not as much, because I just love to talk to people on my live, and he comes in a room, I'm not going to disrespect him. I'd be like, blessed assurance, how are you? Peace and love, that type of thing. And but did I want to see those red flags? No, because I really wanted a relationship and I really wanted this thing to work. Like I really wanted it to work. Because when I tell you whew, you know, he's nice looking. He's a very nice looking guy. He speaks proper, and he has some of the qualities. There's some things that I don't like, but I was willing to work with. I was willing to work with it. But I noticed that about him, and that's one particular situation. I know another situation. This one particular guy, he only calls me when he's in town. He only calls me when he's in town. Ladies, if a man only calls you when he's in town, LaWanna, tell me what he's looking for.
Just a one night stand.
What
Somebody
you say in my Miss Penny voice?
what you say? A one night stand. My thing is that I don't get these men, married men, put women in so many other situations where they gotta lie to kick it. And my thing is that I think, when a man say he's married, run, Forrest, run, run. Because see, the thing about it is that He lying, and you up there being a homewrecker disturbing somebody else's house. So you got to run and not deal with these men. And it's so many men on this social media though, on this TikTok, this Facebook. These men be on here lying to kick it. Why? I don't know. Oh, I'm going through a divorce. I'm going through this. I'm going through it. Because sometimes the men don't even tell you.
Yes.
And then you land there listening to that song that you got to go home to your wife. What is that song? I'm not your, no, what is the song?
Oh my
I can't,
goodness. Was it Betty Wright?
yeah,
It
yeah.
was Betty
Now you
Wright.
got to go home to your wife, and I'm laying in the bed like, Lord, I'd have messed around with this married man. Lord, forgive me. I didn't know he was married.
But
What?
see, she knew. She was it Betty Wright? Chet, was it Betty Wright?
Sounds like waiting to exhale. Keep going, though. See ya.
Yes, girl.
Yeah. But see, the
What
thing
was her
about it is
name?
the men be lying and put us in a situation. And what if we done gave up the goods? And then they tell us the truth. Then now you got to seeing a fornicating and sleeping with a married man.
Listen, and what I read yesterday, I was doing a little bit of studying and whatnot, and what I read yesterday was, the pastor actually said, he was like, the enemy knows what we like,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows what to present, when to present it to us, and
Mm-hmm.
it's at those lowest moments that
Mm.
phone will start buzzing.
Mm.
That phone will start buzzing. And let's be honest, I'm just gonna keep it real. I am a human.
I
You
am,
know,
yeah.
my mom would tell us you can't miss something you never had. Well, guess what, guys? I've had it, I've enjoyed it, I missed it. You know, and so it's like that phone call comes in and you be like, well, I remember. But then you start thinking, is it worth my salvation? That's how I'm starting to think.
Mm-hmm.
Because if y'all haven't noticed, but I've noticed that these numbers are going by real, real fast. And he's taking the young just as well as the old. And I don't want to be like that. So I'm trying to, control myself. And so this one particular person, I was in love with this boy ever since this man, ever since my daughter was 9 years old. And I
Mm-hmm.
just had to have him. I wanted him. I wanted him. And I was pretty much stalking this dude, like, but no, that's just not for me. You only call me when you're in town.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem. There's a red flag. Then when you're out of town, I don't hear anything from you. Not unless you're at work and it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and you're in the truck at work.
Hmm.
And, there's nobody else to witness our conversation, or, there's no interruptions or what have you. So it's just like you just have to be careful. And I know Luana mentioned, she touched on social media. Social media gives us room to
Hmm.
pretend to be someone that we are not. What do they call egos, alter egos, or what have you? You can actually change up and say that you're working for this place, you're working for that place. I get it all the time. They be up in my DM, trying to talk to me and promising me this and promising me that. But in actuality, can I trust you?
It was somebody was on the it was somebody was on a social media site, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they put the guy put his number in the comments, right? And that person called that person, and his wife was right there, and handed the phone to his wife to translate what the phone call was about. So he got in trouble because he put his phone number in there, and the wife wanted to know something. He does this all the time. So the wife told the person they do this her husband does this all the time. But men put this, that's why women, we got to learn how to vent men, vent them. When I met my husband, I knew his address. I knew where he worked. I knew a lot about him, okay? That he didn't even know that I knew.
Mm.
It's just because we got to be careful. We got to be careful. There's so many women that's being killed by men that they meeting on social media and trusting what a man say. Stop trusting these men, and men stop trusting these women. It
Oh
go
yeah,
both ways, but we're speaking from a
a
woman,
woman perspective. Yeah.
point of view perspective. So we have to really vet these men. One, make sure they're not married. Because one thing you don't want to do is get into an entanglement.
Mm-mm.
And then can't get yourself, they want to kill you because you want to leave them. The wife going through abuse with them. Then now you entangled, you ain't going nowhere. It was a young lady here, got pregnant by the man, was about to go tell his wife about the baby. He killed her. So now he ain't got neither one of the women because he in prison and one gone. I
Let
can't
me tell
post the
you.
comments up here. Clove said the devil knows when you are about to move forward. Then here comes trouble. Your ex. Oh boy.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
boy.
That devil knows what we like. You know, he's the prince of the air. He knows what we like, and he'll have them all dressed up all nice and smooth and all cute and adorable. Let me tell you, they come in all shapes, ages,
It was one
sizes.
brother going with, he wasn't married. He lived around the corner from the church. He had 5 of us women in the church, and we all knew about it, but everybody was in love with him. With him. Everybody was in love with him. And baby, it got so bad. He started taking women out. Me and him supposed to go eat. I done gave him some money because he said he needed for something. He took another woman out to eat on my dime in the church. Another one of the church members on my dime. They went out to eat. He took her and her kid out to eat on my money. And then I was like, what are you doing? I mean, they lie. They lie. Men are so clever, and women, we got to become even more clever.
Mm-mm. You know, there's a young lady that was on social media, and I can't recall her name, but um, she's very well known on social media, and she talks about red flags. She talks about domestic violence. She talks about relationships a lot.
Mhm.
And there are some women that will actually get on her panel and they would begin to talk about their husbands and how proud they were of their husbands and their husbands this and their husbands that. And one day she was like, hold on, hold on, hold on. She was like, just stop. She was like, do not get on here telling me about your husband. And she was like, because the main thing that you're saying that he won't do, I promise you I can get him to do.
What?
And yes, and that's what she actually told this woman. And the woman said, no, no, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband.
Lord,
Girl, when I tell you the video unfolded,
what happened?
oh, y'all, this is some tea right here. It's good. I kid you not,
Well,
girl.
let me drink this tea, child. Oh, this water.
Girl, listen, listen. When I tell you, she came with receipts. She came with receipts and she let everybody know that she was coming with receipts. And she invited the woman back to her live. And the woman came on there and they were just talking and everything. And she put her in the box. And she began to tell her, she was like, so on such and such date, you stated that your husband was this, that, and the other. And I told you to never say what your husband would not do. And the woman was like, yes. And she was like, well, here. And girl, why did she not have it on, on TikTok? We can do the green screens and whatnot. Why did she not have all the text messages from her husband and her engaging in a conversation?
What?
Why did she not have that up there? Why? Why did she not have that up there? Even the message where he agreed to meet her at the mall at such and such time. This man actually drove 3 hours away to meet this woman at a mall that was not in their hometown.
Wow.
And I felt bad for the lady. I truly, truly did.
I feel
And
bad
I
for
was
it.
like, that was something that you could have like just told her on the side, not just to exploit her
Put her
out there.
on blast like that.
Yeah, for the likes of it and whatnot. But I say this to say that they're out there. You know, there are married men, there's married women out there that are doing these things,
Seeking to
and
destroy
getting
your
involved.
home. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
They're getting involved in these relationships with you, or situationships, entanglements. And Luana has actually a chapter in her book called Situationships. Um, and they're actually getting you, pulling you in.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a form of abuse, guys. That's a form of abuse. They're taking your love for granted. They're
Taking
not
advantage of
serious
you.
about it. Yes, and they're taking advantage of you. So it's like you have to protect yourself at all costs. No one is going to love you better than the man above and yourself.
Mm. Let me
And
read close comments. One of them said, even though my grandpa got drunk a lot, I give him 2 thumbs up because he knows how to be a virtuous man. He was the head of the household and everyone knew it. He was not a fool to pluck it down. And then let me see. The other one said, "The devil knows when you're about to move forward. Then here comes trouble." Oh, we read that one already. Your ex. And then it says, "I know about a man who has been living with his woman for years. He found a sad piece and brought her a gift and mailed it to her, just to find out when he came home one day and seen the package. Couldn't see the package or the kitchen table. This dude mailed it back to himself. You can you can imagine how the outcome was. Oh my word.
oh my goodness. You know what? These side pieces, that's a whole nother topic.
The
Listen,
sadness.
that's a whole nother topic. But do you guys know, like, what are the identifiers of domestic violence? Do you know of any type of identifiers that you can actually look for with your friends, or just a random person um, that could actually, tell you, like, listen, they need some help? What are the identifiers?
Anger issues could be one.
Mm-hmm.
If a man got anger issues, if he always mad, always upset, um, if you find out he's a liar, um, let me see, lying, manipulating, um, trying to just use you. It's so many ways that you could just tell you about to be a red flag, and the anger issue is one. If they gotta go up and punch a wall because you done pissed them off and things like that, just know once he punched that wall, he 9 times out of 10 ready to punch you,
Mm-hmm.
ready to
But
punch. Mhm.
like as a friend, say for instance, I'm in a domestic violence relationship or what have you, and I haven't told you.
Uh-huh.
Are there like certain things that you could actually look for in an individual and say, you know what, maybe she is experiencing some issues
Uh-huh.
within the home? Because I know with me, I was a little standoffish with people. I did actually have one friend, actually two friends, there in Newport News, and one of which she told me. She told me all about my husband. She told me everything about him, and
Mm.
I was just in denial. And it was because her husband was telling her. And then there was another young lady. She was actually in a domestic violence situation,
Mm.
and she called me on the telephone, and we were just talking as normal. And I noticed that she didn't want to get off the telephone with me, and I was like, okay, I done told her I don't know how many times I got to go and cook my daughter something to eat. And she's steady talking. She's steady talking. And I was like, Cassandra, I got to go. I really got to go. And she was like, no. And then she just kept on talking. And then all of a sudden, I heard a thump.
Wow.
And it was just after that thump, I heard a bunch of grunting. And the grunting wasn't just her grunting, I also heard a male's voice grunting.
Mm.
I didn't know what to do. I
Wow.
honestly, truly didn't know what to do.
Did you have an address?
I did actually have her address, and this is what I did.
Uh,
I disconnected the phone because it was clear that she could not get the phone. I heard the kids in the background screaming and whatnot. I actually called 911. And mind you, I lived in Newport News and she lived in Norfolk. So I called 911. I told them what had actually happened and occurred, and I provided them the address. Now, she lived on base. I didn't live on base.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I'm on my way over there. And it was like, no, don't you go over
Don't
there.
you go over there.
Don't you go over there. And then I had to think about it. Do I want to bring my daughter into this particular situation?
Yeah, because see, the thing about it is that you would end up getting hurt. There's so many people that try to jump in other people's affairs, and they the ones that end up killed or beat up or hurt. It was a
Mm-hmm.
situation here where the man killed her sister, her and her sister. And it was sad because her mother lost both of her daughters due to this jealous boyfriend that killed one daughter and ended up killing both daughters because she
Mm-hmm.
was defending her sister. So the best thing I would say now, it was situations where you get the law involved, and the woman that's being abused, she will say, "Oh no, it's nothing that going on here, officer. Everything is fine." Oh no, they'll check her out, look at her. No, I used to walk around without bruises on me. One thing, I never walked around with a broken hand, black eye, nothing broke, but I was being jumped on. And see, you getting punched and hit, not in your face, but in other parts of your body where can't nobody see bruises.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just like to see it stop. Men talk to men and get help. It's like, when you go through a domestic violent relationship, at the man jump on you, he can't even have sex with you because that's considered rape.
Yes, you were telling me about that.
That is considered, if a man put his hands on you and turn around and want to have sex and you don't want to have sex, especially after he hit you. Sex is not that, because if you go to the police, they will consider it as rape. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
said sexual assault and domestic violence go hand in hand. Because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of women is going through it. Men would take their body, make them perform sex acts. They could be tied, just getting out the hospital. I mean, look at Tina Turner, what she was going through. Soon as
Oh
she get out
my.
the hospital, she had to still perform if she was getting abused. This stuff going on every day in real life. A woman is being raped every 2 minutes. Domestic violence is going on every second.
Every second.
Do y'all know when this pandemic came? That's when it's more abuse been going on towards kids and women and men, because work was their safe place.
Mm-hmm.
Work was their safe place. School was their safe place. And when that pandemic happened, that was no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to read this other message from Clove. Thank you for your support, honey. She, one of my ex-boyfriends wanted me to be a totally dependent on him. That's a red flag. So that he could totally take control of me. That that's a red flag.
So
Uh,
basically, he was
when he
holding all the money or whatever.
when he
Like,
realized that I wasn't going to have that, then that's when the abuse came. And physically, yes. When you don't give a man full control of your every move, that's leading up to the hits. It take one hit, like Tangy just said. It take
mm-hmm,
one hit and you can be gone. It could take
mm-hmm,
him one time to flip out and you could be gone. My cousin was at her house. She was a baker. She was baking in her house. And he just shot her in the head and killed her.
mm.
He couldn't have his way. But my thing is this: my cousin never showed signs of abuse. Her and her baby girl got to live with this every day. It happened when she was 10 years old. Saw it happen. Men don't like to be brushed off. Men don't like to be pushed away. Men, you got to be careful because red flags come in all shapes and sizes and forms.
And ages.
It ages. It ages. I
Don't
mean,
forget ages.
if a man grab your arm like this, and that's a sign of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
More than that's gonna, honey, that he don't love you,
Mm-hmm.
and it ain't cute. And yet, and then some in some situations, Tangy, and you might vouch for this, that they take care of the home front, right? All the bills is paid, the mortgage paid, pad my pockets, taking me shopping, but still beat the hell out of you. That's not love, is it?
Mm-mm, that's not love.
It's so many women
And
don't
they'll
know.
make you think that it's because of you.
It's so many women, Tangy, that don't know how to do nothing because that man take care of everything. Women, don't give men all that control. Learn how to do something because that man die today or tomorrow, baby. You got to be able to form. I know people that didn't even know how after the breadwinner left and wasn't even abusive and was a good man. So we got to learn something, know how. One thing about it, we got to know who we are as women. We got to know our strength. We got to know our power. We got to know our what we carry. We carry a man's favor. And don't let no man destroy the favor. Don't let no man hurt you. Don't let no man disrespect you. And don't you disrespect the man. Because it's go both ways. Now, like I said, in all my shows, I say this, Angie. A unhealed woman, I'm going to say an unhealed man, because he's supposed to be the head, and an unhealed woman, they get together, boom, it's a toxic relationship. He toxic, she toxic. She unhealed, he unhealed.
You
She
got a
don't know
toxic
how, he don't
mess.
know how. A toxic man. And I see it.
Mm.
All outside in front of the kids. The kids got to go to school with this mess on their mind. Parents, women, men, stop.
Mm-hmm. People hear it next door.
Call 911. Oh, it's fine over here. It's a lady that lived next door to my mother. And this man beats her day in and day out. Take her car, take her credit cards, take her food stamps, and go take care of a whole nother woman.
With her food stamps.
Somebody help me help make sense.
What you say?
I mean, literally, and women, we naive to so many situations. That's why I'm here. We here to empower women. Men, we let these men take our car. I done seen people. The men take their car, didn't even pick them up for work, and they had to catch the bus home. Help me make sense of that.
What you say?
Please
So
tell me.
he take the car, and then well, you know what? I can't even touch that because it was my money that purchased that Mazda 626.
It was my money that bought that Marley Carlo, 2008.
It was my money.
It was my money. That $21,000 that he took out my account, that was my
Hmm.
money.
But then wanted to go cry and call the pastor and tell the pastor that I took all the money out the bank account.
And
And I
then,
did.
you know what my grandma asked me? I love her, bless her. She said, "Baby, I just got a question. Is it gold?" She said, "Is it gold?" Because she said,
Hmm.
"Baby, you know everything glitter ain't gold." And I'm like, I didn't understand what she was saying.
I
But
caught it.
now, as a woman, I understand.
Yes.
Everything glitter ain't gold, and what that man got in his pants ain't gold.
Mm-mm.
For
It's
you to
not.
lose this right here,
Mm-mm.
for you to lose your mind, lose your mind. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
I and I still look at it because I have a daughter. I have daughters. I have young cousins, female cousins. I hate to see that their self-esteem is so low that they think they need a man to tell them how good they look in the mirror, how good they look. Honey, look in the mirror yourself and say, "Good morning, gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous." Women, stop having these men have to tell you how good you look. Raise your self-esteem. You look good on your own. You look good on your own by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I can honestly say this. It ain't gonna take no man to tell my daughter she's beautiful because she already know.
I
It ain't
know
gonna
that's right.
tell no woman ain't gonna have to tell my son he handsome. Cause guess what? He already know.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my husband it's so funny. I be like, "Oh baby, you're so handsome." He said, "Thank you. Nobody never told me that." Boy, bye. You know you look good.
Oh my
But
goodness.
we have to build our daughters with ladies, and it's things that I've been through that I'm not proud of, that I never ever want to see my daughter go through. I don't want to see no young lady go through it.
Mm-mm.
These men that want to use you, that's red flags. Take advantage of you, control you, tell you when and when you can't go, telling you ladies what you can wear and can't wear. I had to tell Chosen this the other day. He was like, um, "That's too tight. You going out like that?" I'm like, "What's wrong?" "I have a butt. I can't get rid of it. I have a butt. It's back there. I can't have it. And it's gonna go everywhere I go." But it'd be so funny that, you know, we got body parts and it is what it is, you know. And I love my body. I love me. And women just gotta be okay in their own skin.
Yes, we do. We definitely do.
And not let a
Wasn't it you were telling me about even how young girls, like 5 year olds, 6 year olds, even know to look at themselves in the mirror.
let me
And
tell y'all. There go the little girl came out the room. She had spent the night over here. My daughter babysat her. So my daughter did her hair and did her hair, washed her up, cleaned her up, put on her clothes. So you know my whole wall is full of mirror. That little girl came out the room, did like this, and then turned around and did like that. I said, "She ain't got nothing back there. What she looking at?"
look, she looking at what she got. It might not be much, but she
Look,
like, mm.
she was looking at back there on imagination. But no,
Yes.
it's learned behavior. Like kids that say they ain't got no clothes, got a closet full of clothes. Can I get some new clothes? Learned behavior. Like my husband, he fussed at me because I have a closet full of clothes, a whole nother area full of clothes, and I'm about ready to give away some clothes. He said, "But you're gonna give them away and say you don't have none." I mean, we look, we I picked up a few pounds. I'm not a medium anymore. I'm an extra large. But some of my medium clothes, I want to keep them. But we'll get on that subject another time. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just that your self esteem. Now, when I was younger, and I talk about it in my book, Damaged Crown Still Shine. Here's your lovely author right here. You can go to www.damagedcrownstillshine.com and purchase your copy today. But when early on, I had a very low self-esteem, and I felt like I was damaged goods. I was worthless. I felt like any way I get him in, and no matter how he treat me, they say the song say I got a piece of man that's better than no man at all. That's a lie.
It is.
That's a lie. Because you know what? My thing is I don't want a piece of a man. I want a whole man. I want him to be all mine. A piece of man
Yes.
is better than no man. Nah.
Mine and
Toxic,
only
the
mine.
red flag of dating.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
nowadays though, they're really into this. Maybe they were into it before, but nowadays is more people talking about polygamy relationships. Where, it's one man or maybe one woman and then two other significant others, or however they actually put it.
yeah.
Me, myself, what's mine is mine. I don't like to share. I am a little stingy when it comes to that. So, and I've seen a lot of people, all shapes, sizes, races, all that. They're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
sharing.
Well,
But
some people, my thing is this: some people like it. I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't try it. But whatever floats your boat, let it float it.
it's interesting. I watched it.
Yeah, yeah. The thing
I
about it,
do.
let that float your boat.
Yes,
But some
it
women
sparks interest.
have to, if that's a man's desire, um, because the only threesome my husband gonna have is the Lord, him, and me. Amen. um, some women have to. They will give them these men their desire. But what if you give that man that desire, and that's a red flag because you're giving him what he wants. And
Mhm.
then what if he like what y'all just did, and then he diss you and go with her? You gotta be careful, but that's a whole nother show.
Yes, it is a whole nother show.
You got to be careful with that. But we just got to be careful about the red flags and letting men treat us any kind of way, and then the women,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Women stop
But if
treating men.
you or someone that you know is experiencing domestic violence, please reach out for some help. There are different hotlines that you can actually reach out to. There's all types of resources. Don't be afraid to utilize those resources. A lot of us have a lot of pride, and that's what actually gets in the way of us actually responding to the situations that we're in, because I know that that's actually what happened to me. And you be your own voice. Lawanda is always telling me about being my own advocate. You would want to be your own advocate in this particular situation, because once you're gone from here, who's going to speak for you? The news broadcaster? You don't want the news reporter, because they're not going to be able to tell your story and what you actually went through.
Because they want
You
to
know,
speak about you one time and be gone. But
exactly.
a hotline is in the stroll down here. It is 1-800-799-7233. Get some help. 1-800-799-7233. Please get some help. Red flags, run. If you're not deep into it, run. If you're deep into it, get some help, because one punch to the head can unalive you. One
Hmm.
punch in your stomach or in your chest can unalive you. It take one hit and you can be gone. So
Hmm.
please get some help. Hitting you and hurting you is not beautiful. It ain't no good thing. This is
That's not
Domestic
love.
Violence Awareness Month, and you will see me and Tangi and probably a lot of other women on their platforms talking about domestic violence awareness. We want to raise awareness, and one of them is red flags. Red flags early on when the yelling come, when grabbing your arm, what I say, Wait a minute, if your parents didn't do it to you, you definitely know that's a no-no. And that's one thing my father never did is put his hands on me. And may he rest in peace. I love my daddy. But, and I can say, not even know me and my mother ever dated after my father. Never put their hands on me. I can honestly say a man never put their hand on my daughter. Her dad did not whoop her. May he rest in peace. And any men I ever dated did not put their hands on her. Because a lot of us need to stop. If we going through the abuse, don't allow your children to go through the abuse. Get yourself out the situation and get your children out the situation. It is sad that these kids got to go to school with this stuff on their mind, and I've been through it. I was a kindergarten with it on my mind, and in school my nerves was bad. I'm being brown. I used to pee on myself for attention. I used to do all that stuff. Didn't want to go to bed. I'm being honest. I'm an elementary kid. I stayed walking home, and they called me the pee girl because they didn't know what was going on in my house. My nerves was bad.
Mm-hmm.
My nerves was bad. And so, yeah, kids have nerves. Yes, we do. So, it is, I just say be aware of all red flags. Be aware of the yelling, the controlling, the narcissism, blaming you for everything.
Yes.
Constant criticism, calling you out your name, fat, ugly, you ain't good for nothing, you no good, that's a lie. You are good for something, and you are some good, and your damaged crown still shine, and there's always room to fix your crown. So, and my thing is this, because you go through a failed relationship, ladies, just because you go through a failed, just know it's his loss in another man's game. I'm telling y'all because how I know I'm 10 years married now, 12 years in a relationship, and I thought I was damaged goods. I thought that I was just broken. I thought I was a throwaway. I thought, but look at me now. That's why I encourage all women that went through failed relationships. God has something for you even better. Just don't make some of those same mistakes that you did in those past relationships and bring it into this relationship. But every man is not the same. I talk about that after being sexual abuse, sexual assaulted by my uncle at the age of 13. A lot of women say that they cannot perform in the bedroom, a whole nother one, because of what they've been through. My thing is my husband is not that same man that hurt me. That's my husband is not my uncle. My husband is not none of those men that hurt me and put me through nothing. That's why I'm able to trust. You can't trust every man. Ladies, you can't trust every man.
Nope.
But get to know a man and be their friend. Be their friend. What my husband had to teach me this, being a man's friend. He had to teach me how to be a man's friend. Because I was ready to be his woman. He said, no, I'm your friend. And I'm friend. But while we doing relationship things, we friends with benefits. Be careful about those friends with benefits too, ladies. Because baby, it's these red flags, guys. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep.
It's deep. It's real deep. You saw what Clove said?
What she said? Let me see.
She said, I believe that a lot of times we find ourselves in situations because of self-esteem. That's why it's important to have the fruit of self-control.
That's it.
Of low self-esteem. Yes. I had low self-esteem. LaWanda touched on things like when you were growing up being teased and bullied and this, that, and the other. I was picked on. I was picked on in school ever since primary school. I was picked on. My name is LaTanya. They called me LaFugly. They called me ugly. They called me black. They called me fat. They called me all different types of things. And that actually played a part on who I thought I was in my adult life as well. And even till this day, there's times that I can see that it still affects me and it bothers me a little bit. And I'm always looking at myself and I'm always trying to make sure my foundation and my lashes are right, and this, that, and the other. So I find myself getting involved in relationships, and some of them I know aren't the best for me, but I do it anyway just because someone said that I could.
That's it.
Which is not right. But to prove a point to some of these people out here that, I'm not Love Ugly. I'm Latanya. And I can have a nice looking man as well. But I found myself getting into situations when I actually did that.
But see, but see, you gotta look at it too. What those kids was going through at school, and that's why we gotta tell our children those kids are going through something at home, and what they do is come and lash out on other kids in school. That's why we gotta build our children up and keep them encouraged and let them know, uh, they self esteem. Like I was watching my daughter walking around a grocery store as we went grocery shopping today, and my baby walked tall and she walked with her head up, and I'm like, okay, I think I got her self-esteem a little too high, because she just walking, her hair just going, and she just, being her. But
Mhm.
she have that self-esteem about herself. I gave my daughter everything I didn't have, and one was good self-esteem, feeling good about yourself. Nobody don't gotta tell you pretty. Now, one thing I didn't allow my daughter to do was somebody tell her she pretty and say, I know. But I had little kids tell me, oh, I know, I know. No, it's thank you. Or somebody tell you you're beautiful, thank you. But no, the kids, those kids that pick on people, they go through something, and it all boils back to home training
Mhm.
and what you grew up with and how you grew up. Like as an adult now, Tangie, how do you feel about yourself?
Um, as an adult now, to be totally honest with you guys, it still bothers me. Not so much what the kids actually said back in school, but because of these past relationships that I have been in. There's times that I'm still healing from it. It takes time. People will come in and they'll say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and I'll be like, "Well," and then I'll start making excuses instead of me saying, "Well, thank you," and accepting it and moving on. It's like I start to wonder, why do you say that about me? Why? What was the purpose behind it? Out of all those children, and a lot of them are, like friends with me on Facebook. Well, they're followers on Facebook, but there's only one individual that
Mhm.
actually reached out to me and actually apologized
Wow.
for what he actually did, the pain that he actually caused me when I was actually in school. And I salute him. I salute him for that because he didn't have to. He
Right.
didn't have to. There's some others that do actually reach out to me, but they reach out to me in other ways. You know, you have to be careful because these people, they will make you feel so low, and then it's them that'll come back around and try and persuade you into being in a situationship with them.
Mhm.
Why? Because they feel like they already planted that seed that you belittle yourself, or you don't have any self-esteem. So they feel like they planted that seed, and so they feel like, oh, I know how I can build her up and I can get what I want out of her. So then they're actually in your DMs, or what have you, and then they're actually trying to actually talk to you on the low low.
Well, could I ask you this too, though?
Hmm.
Okay. Now, a lot of that went on when you was young,
Hmm.
and your past relationships, and you going through your healing process. Take
Hmm.
time out and journal. Get to know Tangi again before that relationship and before that last relationship, before that last relationship. One thing about it is that I've been through a lot with men, and I almost lost me, but I
Hmm.
can't never lose myself again. And what you got to do is find Tangi again. Tangi, you are beautiful. You are worthy. God is going to send you that right person, and you're going to have a fulfilled relationship. You just got to, when you submit to God and give God your all, that right one is going to come for you. So you can't
Hmm.
beat yourself up about the past relationships and the past situation was, look, I look back over my life now. I see these dudes grimy. I see these guys looking homeless. I see these guys in the same spot, in the same place that I left them. Okay. And I look at my life now. God have brought me a mighty long ways, even though I'm married now. And I hear things about some of these dudes. And then see some of these dudes and be like, oh, I was with that. I was that with that. I had one guy, hey, you look the same. How you doing? I said, happily married. How about yourself? Because I had to show him he didn't stop no show. And that's why when you had that talk and I told you, no, you leave out your house. You show who you are. You show your worth. Because it's that man's loss is not yours. It's not that you know you're gonna know your worth. I gotta pour into my sister right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're still on red flags, but sis, you gotta know your worth.
Yes.
That's those men lost. Just look where they at. They're in the same spot that you left them. Ain't no okay. The guy that you said that got married again, the same thing he did to you, he doing it to her, and to the Lord handle him.
But when he might not be doing it yet, but it will come, you know. And I pray for her. I pray. Hey, Lawana. Uh-oh.
What the world? What happened?
Girl, I don't know. I have 12% though. And I was like, is it me?
You got to get your charger. You can't get your charger, or we got to get off.
It's my charger is here. It's plugged in. It's still telling me 12%. I don't know why.
Oh,
I don't know why.
my whole internet just went out.
Oh goodness. Like for some time now, it looked like your picture was frozen on my end.
And yours is still yours is freezing on my end.
Yes, and then when I look at my other device, it was like we weren't frozen. So I was like, okay, we're good. And then it's okay. It's okay. Guys, if you're listening and if you have TikTok, definitely follow us. You can follow Lawana there at TikTok. Her name is just like it is, Lawana Kelly. And I'm actually Tangi Yvette. So if we continue to have problems here on Facebook, we'll just actually go over and continue the conversation on TikTok. So and I would actually write my name in the chat on TikTok.
Yeah, they said we was frozen. Hello, Miss Penny.
Hi, Miss Penny. What you say?
Oh, you got to put it in the I put it in the because you texted it private.
Oh, okay.
Then you got to text it another way.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, sis, I was just pouring into you. The devil didn't want me to pour into you, but
it is well. It is well.
It's well. That we got to get you good now. Thank you. My whole computer, what happened, it was froze. Because remember I said I couldn't see the messages. Now I can see the messages. I know eventually we're going to have to get off here because we're about to go into an hour and 30 minutes. But however, it's good that you show your vulnerability here on this page because a lot of women is going through some of the same things that you're going through. And as I pour into you, I'm pouring into them as well. That, you know, even before my husband came, I knew at the end of the day, all I had was me. God first, but all I had is me. At this point in your life, you can't worry about what God removes you from, and you don't know why God took that away from you. You could been going through something, and anybody could have unalived you, anybody could have hurted you, and stuff like that. So we got to look at it. Sometimes we are moved out of a situation, like the guy that got me. I got the Monte Carlo for, and I got the that got me for $21,000, and he's still out there just doing him because he think because of who he is with the good looks and all that good stuff. He think he could do it, but one day he'll be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna get old one day. He gonna get old one day, and all that stuff and them good looks change. That's why women, we got to know that we're valuable and know who we are.
Yes.
And can't let nobody tear us down, because one relationship failed, 2, 3, 4, 5 relationships. Take a chance again. I took a chance on Chosen, my husband. And when he said, "Come on, girl, we want to get married," I didn't know what I was doing. All I know, I went out of town with this man and he married me, and here I am 10 years later. Like, okay, hey, 12 years later, still married, But he could have been anywhere doing anything, and as well as me. I could have been anywhere. My thing is this: what I did when I dated, I didn't date and bring people to where I laid my head. Whatever I did my dirt in the streets. When I came home, I had my peace. I laid my head and I slept like a baby, and stuff like that over my kids. Now we got grown children. You just fix yourself up and live your life. Can't nobody. It's somebody out there for everybody, and some people just
That's
not
true.
meant to be married. But it's somebody out there for everybody.
There is. There really is.
We will get the right ones. What we got to do as women is stop looking ourselves and let God send him. Miss Penny looking with the eyeballs like, we got to learn to just wait on God. Give God our all. When you focus on yourself, your life, your business, your health, bettering yourself, building your empire, then God will send you your helpmate. Or how it's supposed to go. We're supposed to be their helpmate, and we gotta be building. So what you do is keep building, keep doing what you're doing, and you don't gotta jump. And I'm talking to a lot of women, single, married. You don't have to jump into any situation to make it work, because everything is meant to be ain't meant to be.
That's true.
And grandma said it ain't gold, and everything glitter ain't gold. Because just the way you find good sex in a man, a woman can find good, vice versa. A man can find good sex in another woman. If it's about sex, we let these men put it on us, and then we lose our mind. And then when it's gone,
I never experienced any that would make me lose my mind, though.
Some of us women do. Grandma said our mind was left on the tip, but not the Lord. Okay, but we got to stop letting
that was some tea, guys. That was some tea. I told him that was some tea. That was some tea.
Yeah, we spilling some tea.
We spilling some tea.
Laughing.
If we settle, then what are we settling for? You have to be very, very cautious out there, guys. If you're still currently dating. Even today, I was talking to my doctor, and I shared with him the live that we were going to be doing today, and how we were going to talk about the red flags of dating. And he looked at me, he was like, "There's a lot of them." And he was like, "But what do you do with those red flags?" And when he said that to me, I was like, you know what? You're right. What do we do with those red flags? We settle. We say, well, something is better than nothing at all. No, honey, you deserve so much more.
So much better.
You deserve so much more. And, it's you got to be happy in the end,
That's it.
You
gotta want to be respected by a man too. Some of us, like I said, jump in these situations in these relationships or situationships. That's a chapter in my book, Situationships, that we forget about us. We forget about us as women. Tange, you froze again. Could you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. And we got to just get better in what we're doing and just stop letting these relationships. Hold on, let me read these messages. Miss Penny said ignore them. And then I had a few that had me climbing up the headboard, but I'm still in my right mind, Lord Jesus.
Bless your heart. What you say? Wait a minute. That was a Miss Penny moment there. That was a what you say.
But see, the thing about it is that some of us women, this is what we do. I mean, I was there. I was one of the women. She say we ignore the red flag. What
Yes, we
part of
do.
that, Miss Penny, was the red flag? Going up the airport.
Yes. I believe she was talking because the doctor had said, "What do we do with the red flags?" And so she was saying that we ignore them, and that's the truth. You know how we women, we always say that it's women's intuition. Well, you got the intuition, but you ain't what you're doing with it. You're just, settling. You're just settling. If I fall off, sis, I have 7%. Okay.
Okay. Well, look, won't you charge? Chosen had his dinner already, so I don't have to feed him. Let's take this to TikTok at 8 o'clock. Charge your
Perfect.
phone out, and then I'll come on
Perfect.
your page. All right. So
Yes. Clove, are you on TikTok, Clove? Please
yeah,
join
she's
us.
on there. She's lift me up on TikTok.
All right, awesome.
Yeah,
Guys,
shit.
join us, guys. There's more to come with Latwana and Latanya.
The LAT girls. We the
The
LAT
LAT
girls.
girls. There's
Yeah.
a lot more to come. Damaged crown still shine. And what I love about our relationships is we're actually accountability partners. It's not just her and I, but there's others that we have that actually support us also, and we all just real with each other and we just talk about things. So again, if you're out there and you're suffering in a relationship that is not healthy, please get some help before it's too late.
Okay. And next week on our show, please, I don't know how me and Tangy will do it, but I want to raffle off a book set. It will be this book. That's me, our lovely author. It will be this book, Fix Your Crown. Fix Your Crown. And this, it will be a beautiful box like this. And this is how it look. So I'm gonna raffle that off, and I'm going to probably raffle off some jewelry as well. We're gonna do, how many raffles you want to do next week? Like two of them, like each show, or just once a
Um,
week. Well, we'll talk about that when we get off here. We ain't
yeah, we'll talk about that
we
later.
ain't put all the business out right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't
so
never spill the tea.
you could go to let me put that in here. You can go to www dot damaged damage. Oh shucks. Still okay. SHINE.com. Okay, my website for the book, the box. Okay, let me. Okay, www.damagecrownstillshine.com. I didn't put the dot in there, but the dot is in there. So you can go to www.damagecrownstillshine, purchase the book. We also have a women's empowerment event coming
Woo!
April 13th next year. It's going to be Damaged Crown Still Shine Women Empowerment. It's going to be a red carpet event. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have some soul food, y'all. We're going to be walking a red carpet. We're going to put on our best dresses and put our hair up. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to dance. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to sing.
Yes.
We're going to have a phenomenal time. The tickets are $60 on Eventbrite. And I have tickets as well. Or you could DM Tangi. You could DM Miss Penny for tickets. You could DM, if anybody know Chosen, my husband, DM him for tickets. We will mail the tickets. We're going to have a good time. And I would love to see you there. Men and women are welcome. Well, it's a women's event. Men are welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to come, because we all have been through something and we have been damaged some type of way. And we're going to have prayer. We're going to eat. We're going to break bread. We're going to have a book signing. We're going to have a phenomenal time. And I'm going to have a book signing, so y'all show up, but get y'all books now. And then we're going to raffle off some books next week. Yes. All right, so we love y'all, and we'll see y'all over on TikTok. We love y'all, and have a blessed day. You want to say something, Angie?
No, she said it all, guys. Please, please make sure you try and get to this event. Like she said, it's in April. So, and the tickets are $60. So, like she said, you can actually cash out her or whatever. If you can't do the whole 60, you could break it up. You know how we do. We break it up. Yeah. We break it up a little bit, and it's not a problem. Because that's your business. That's your business and LaWanda's business, however you want to do it. But we want you there. We want you there. It is so hard to get others to actually support you, especially in our community. And we're going to actually try and put a stop to that so much, And as women, we should be able to support each other. And that's an area that we've noticed that there's lack in. Yeah. So again, thank you so much. I see Clove says she has both books. And Clove, I know you enjoyed it, girl, because I done read mine. Like, this is like my third time reading it, girl. It's real good. It's the juice, I promise you. It's really good. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. We love y'all, and ain't nothing you can do about it. We try to get on here every Tuesdays and Thursday. Y'all will even see me pop in throughout the week, because my husband said I really have to show up, and I'm going to start showing up because I'm an author and a business owner, and have this women's empowerment event coming up, and y'all girl LaWanda Kelly is going to be speaking, because I got to tell my side of the story. Even though it's in a book, I got to tell my side of the story.
We want to hear you tell it too. We got to hear it come from her. Can't nobody tell your story like you.
And everybody got a story. You just got to be willing to tell it. Yeah. All right. So we about to end the show. Love you all. Hello. Welcome to my website. I am LaWanda Kelly. I am an author. I am a life coach. I am a motivational speaker that's motivating and helping women all around the world heal from their pain and change their pain into purpose. Please explore my website and check out my book, Damaged Crown Still Shine, and my workbook, Fix Your Crown. Please join my emailing list as well. And always know that a damaged crown still shine, and there's always room to fix your crown.